What's on, guys? Just here back to my channel, and tonight I'll be doing a review for AW Dynamite and AW Rampage. Rampage came out for the first time on TBS because it's been on TNT for a good long while now. But I was going to get to it then. This is gonna be a separate two video thing. Sorry, I'm trying to find like the new logo for Rampage and Dynamite and all that stuff with the AW new logo, but whatever. But I know you guys don't care if there's a two video or not. But anyways, I'm gonna get to it then. We have a segment. And yes, Rampage started for the first time on a Wednesday night because this Friday will be a football. Well, tomorrow, which is Friday, will be a. Today's Thursday, but Friday will be a football game. So no, from not football game. I'm sorry, basketball game. I'm sorry. And Saturday night there will be no AEW Collision review. Every now I always start that late, but so yeah, because of basketball also on that one on Saturday night. So yeah, it's gonna get to it then. All right, segment with Mercedes kicks off this week's show. The new weekly intro video and the theme plays. Then we shoot live inside the Cola Coliseum in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, where Excalibur books us to tonight's show. We head to the ring where Tony Schiavone introduces his guest at this time, Mercedes Monet. With that said, the CEO makes her way out to a big pop to kick off this week's show. She says she missed all of this, all the fans. She is so excited to be in AEW. She says we don't know this, but all of this almost got taken away from her 10 months ago with a near career-ending injury from New Japan Professional Wrestling Strong Women's Championship against Will Nightingale. She says she had a package put together so those unaware can become more familiar with Mercedes Monet. The video airs. Monet says minor setbacks are only the start of major comebacks. She says the CEO is here. She's here to lead a women's global revolution. She came to face the very best in AEW and all over the globe. She mentions what happened with Julia Hart and Sky Blue, with her showing what happens when anyone happens with her business, because Willow Nightingale is hers. The light goes out. When the light goes out, when the light comes back on, we see Julia Hart in the aisle, smiling in the ring. Sky Blue attacks Monet. Monet beats her down. Julia tries hitting the ring, but Monet nearly takes her out until Blue pulls her out of the ring. They grab chairs, but Willow Nightingale runs out with Chris Statlander and chairs to stop them. The lights go out, and when they come back on, Hart and Blue are gone. Willow is behind Monet, getting ready to hit her with the chair. Monet turns and sees her. Willow drops the chair and decides against it. Monet drops jaws back and forth with her off mic. She walks off as her theme hits again to end the segment. Alright, we're going to get the first match, AEW Continental Championship. Eddie Kingston, who is the champion, versus Okada. I'm sorry, I suck at names. Backstage, we see the Young Bucks bullying Axe Marvez for not knowing Japanese after he asks Okada for a comment ahead of his AW Continental Crown Championship shot against Eddie Kingston. After this wraps up, the Rainmakers theme hits, and how he comes for our first match of the evening. Renee Paquette checks in from the ringside area like Megan Olivia before UFC Fire walks out, giving some information about this match as Eddie Kingston's theme hits and the Mad King comes out. He makes his way to the ring. Eddie Chance, and looks all business. The bell sounds and off we go. The two lock up to get this one started, and then Kingston jumps into the early offensive lead with his trademark stiff chops. The fight spills out to the floor, where Kingston chases Okada around, but when sliding back into the ring, Okada jumps down and smashes the Mad King to turn the offensive tide in his favor. As action spills out to the floor, we see Kingston walk right into a big DDT from Okada. As action continues, we randomly cut to AEW EVPs, the Young Bucks, laughing it up while watching the match on headsets alongside AEW President Tony Khan. We hear dueling chants from the crowd as Okada goes to work on Eddie in the ring. On that note, we shift gears and head into a mid-match commercial break as the title continues. As this title continues in Toronto. When we return, we see some back and forth action that then Kingston hits his spinning back fist, but can't make the pin in time. Okada connects with the Rainmaker, but Kingston partially blocks it. We see Kingston going for something, but Okada grabs the referee's shirt to distract him. In the chaos, Okada takes over and ultimately connects with his Rainmaker clean. This time for the pinfall victory, we have a new AEW Continental Champion. Winner and new AEW Continental Champion Okada. Alright, once the match wraps up, we see the Young Bucks reacting to Okada's title win from their position. Back live, Okada celebrates with his new title and elaborate fireworks display goes off on the stage thanks to the formation AEW EVP's Okada Smirks Pack's theme hits, and out comes the bastard to let Okada know he's coming for him. Alright, we see Renee Paquette backstage with Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana. Swerve says we're in her hometown of Toronto. He talks about being inspired by Mike Tyson's training footage for his upcoming boxing match against Jake Paul. I hope he knocks his ass out. He wants to have a sparring session in the ring with someone tonight as he works towards the AEW Championship. I guess that means someone 30 years different in age is coming out to let Swerve look like a killer for a 10-second clip. Alright, second match, Hook versus Lionheart, Chris Jericho. When we return, we see Chris Stanlander with Nigel with Stokely Hathaway talking about their street fight on AEW Rampage later tonight against Julia Hart and Sky Blue. In comes Mercedes Moné, who thanks Chris Stanlander for having her back. Willow tries talking friendly too, but Monet doesn't want to hear it. Back live, Hook's theme hits, and out comes the FTW champion for our next match of the evening. He sells into the ring, and sounds of action. Bronson wraps up. Next is his opponent for this evening, Lionheart Chris Jericho. He comes out to his White Zombie theme. The bell sounds and off we go. Hook immediately scoops Jericho up and him on the back of his head with the vicious suplex. We see Hook proceed to suplex Jericho right on his head, literally 8 more times. He eventually catches Jericho in his Red Realm finisher, but Jericho escapes. Hook rolls him up seconds later for the win. The two shake hands after the match. So the winner is Hook. Alright, we shoot to Adam Cole sitting in a fancy chair talking into the camera. He is upset that Wardlow came up short in his attempt to capture the AEW Championship from Samoa Joe. He says he had one job to do and failed. He says now his goal to make sure Taven and Bennett keep the ROH tag titles strong and keeps the international title. Then maybe they'll forgive him. Alright, we'll have a segment with Will Ospreay and stuff. We head to a commercial break after the Adam Cole segment. When we return, Renee Paquette catches up with Chris Jericho. He says Hook earned his respect tonight. Next week on Dynamite, he's got a promotion for him. Shit, I wonder what that's going to be. Back inside the arena, Tony Giovanni is standing in the ring. He introduces his guest at this time. The aerial assassin, Will Ospreay. Out comes the bruv himself. Ospreay says he apologizes to Canada for what he did last time, and he swears he's here for the betterment of AEW. Ospreay talks about Bryan Danielson and their match coming up at AEW Dynasty. He talks about when incredibly Bryan Danielson had with Shibata last week. He then brings up Danielson's comments about Ospreay from Collision about how he couldn't walk in his shoes. He says he was a big star in Japan. Somewhere Danielson always wanted to be a big star. He agrees he can't fit in Danielson's shoes because they're too small for me, bruv. And he says what Danielson did in Japan was great, but what he did was elevate pro wrestling. He lists off his many accomplishments in Japan. Well, Ospreay says he'll prove he can walk in Danielson's shoes. He calls out Katsuri Shibata for next week on Dynamite and wraps up the segment. Tony Khan confirms Ospreay versus Shibata for next week's Dynamite immediately after this wraps up. Alright, next match is Toni Storm and Mariah May versus Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa. We see special video package looking at Adam Copeland's build to I Quit match against Christian later tonight for the TNT Championship on TBS, of course. Our main event after it wraps up, we return inside the building where Toni Storm, and Mariah May make their way out. After they settle in the ring, the theme for Deonna Purrazzo hits, and out she comes. Thunder Rosa comes out as well, and the two sprint down to the ring. All four women brawl from the start, and then Rosa and Storm fall to the floor. The bell rings as May and Purrazzo are in the ring, and Purrazzo delivers a few shots and kicks May in the face. Rosa and Storm brawl on the outside as Purrazzo goes for the cover, but May kicks out. May slams Purrazzo down by her hair and falls with a dropkick. Storm tags in, but Purrazzo drops both of them with a clothesline. Rosa kicks Storm in the corner and tags it. Rosa knocks May to the floor and then delivers a clothesline to Storm in the corner. Uh, Rosa follows with the chop and follows with the back elbow. Rosa delivers a sliding clothesline and goes for the cover, but Storm kicks out. Rosa trips Storm into the ropes and sits down onto Storm in the ropes. Luther distracts Rosa and Storm sends her to the floor with a shot as the show heads to a commercial. When we return from the break, we see some more back and forth action. Purrazzo seems upset but about Rosa tagging herself, and however things ultimately work out for for the duo. As moments later, Rosa picks up the pinfall for her team. Purrazzo still isn't happy despite the win. After the match, we head to another commercial break. Winners are Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa. Alright, next match is Swerve Strickland versus The Butcher. When we return from the break, the theme for Swerve Strickland hits and it comes with Prince not doing as goofy as but always entertaining at dance. As they head to the ring, he settles in the ring with the big chain in his hand. The music dies down and he waits to see who will come out to fight him. The theme for the Butcher and the Blade hits, and out comes the Butcher as Swerve's opponent. The bell sounds and we hear the Whose House? Swerve's House. Call and response routine as Swerve takes it to the much larger Butcher in the early goings. After a couple minutes, Swerve picks up the win via submission. So the winner is Swerve. Alright, after the match, Swerve gets on the mic and talks about his hatred for Samoa Joe and how he wants to take the chain in his hands and wrap it around his big ass neck. He says he's gonna take out his security one by one, week after week, until he gives him exactly what he wants. With that said, Samoa Joe's theme hits. Samoa Joe goes on to give his response and nearly comes to the ring to get the things started tonight until Don Callis comes out and runs his mouth. Eventually gets to the point and extends a challenge to Swerve Strickland. Callis challenges Swerve to fight Konosuke Takeshita. Swerve agrees and says after he's done with the Alpha, he's coming for Samoa Joe. After the segment wraps up, Excalibur informed us Swerve vs. Takeshita is official for next week's Dynamite. We head to another commercial break. Alright, main event time. I Quit match, TNT Championship main event. Christian Cage, who is the champion, versus M. Copeland. It's main event time. When we return to Dapper Yapper, Justin Roberts is in the ring and he begins the formal introductions for our main event of the evening. The I Quit match for the TNT Championship between Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. The theme for Adam Copeland hits and out comes the Radar Superstar to a war from his hometown, Toronto crowd. He makes his way to the ring for his big showdown against longtime friend turned bitter rival TNT champion Christian Cage. Copeland sails into the ring and attire the colors of the Toronto Maple Leafs. When his music wraps up, the fans are singing loudly, word for word, every single word of his theme. Copeland seemed to dig that a lot. Unfortunately, it was cut short by Cage's theme starting. Christian makes his way out to the ring wearing the TNT Championship. He is by himself with no members of the patriarchy by his side, looking confident. He sells in the ring, and it's time for our final match of the evening here on this week's loaded episode of AEW Dynamite. After the bell sounds, these two immediately get after it. Cage delivers right hands into the corner, but Copeland comes back and slams into the opposite corner. Copeland sets up for the spear, but Cage ducks to the floor. Copeland follows with the drop kick through the ropes, and they brawled into the crowd. Copeland puts Cage into one of the hockey penalty boxes, and then puts a Boston Bruins jersey onto Cage. Copeland puts a Toronto Maple Leaf jersey on himself, and they exchange shots in the penalty box. Copeland follows Cage up the stairs and slams him into a guardrail as the show heads to a commercial. As we settle back into the commercial timeout, we see Cage and Copeland are back at ringside. Copeland props a ladder against the apron and delivers a right hand to Cage. Copeland lays the ladder between the timekeeper's area and the announcer's table, and then delivers right hands to Cage on the ladder. Copeland delivers a reverse neckbreaker on the ladder and then gets Cage and the ladder into the ring. Copeland sets the ladder up and inverted and puts it in the corner. Copeland slams Cage onto the ladder, but Cage doesn't quit. Copeland slams Cage into the ring post and grabs the table from under the ring. Copeland props the table against the barricade and puts Cage by it. Copeland goes for a spear, but Cage leaps, frogs him, and slams him into the ring post. Cage moves the ring steps and goes up top. Cage dives into Copeland, who is busted open, and they crash through the table, but Copeland does not quit. Cage gets Copeland back into the ring and wages the ladder in the ropes. Cage catapults Copeland into the ladder, but Copeland doesn't quit. Cage goes for a frog splash, but Copeland dodges, and it locks a cross-faced submission. Cage doesn't quit and gouges Copeland's eyes. Both men back into the ropes and collide as they both go for spears. And the show heads to a commercial break. This time, when we return, we see Copeland nearly finishing Christian off when out comes Nick Wayne's mom with a hockey stick. She hits Copeland with the low. Cage breaks it in half over a bloody Copeland. Christian goes out and grabs steel chairs. He lays Copeland's head on one and raises the other for a con chair to but Copeland thankfully moves his head in time. Cage goes for a kill switch on Copeland on chair, but Copeland avoids it. He hits Cage with the hockey stick and chokes him with the crossface. Now we see Copeland choking Cage with a cord around his throat. Cage is asked if he quits, but before he can say anything, Killswitch and Nick Wayne hit the ring to interfere. Nick Wayne's mom comes in as well. Danny Magic, Matt Menard, and Daniel Garcia run to make the save. Copeland hits Killswitch with an impaler on the barbed wire chair. Garcia and Menard throw Wayne over the top and out to the floor, and Copeland climbs a massive ladder and leaps off onto everyone on the floor. They all handcuff Killswitch and Nick Wayne to the ropes, and so they can't interfere. Nick's mom runs away. Cage gets up, and we see all three guys staring at him. They all punch him, and Copeland spears him. Danny Magic Garcia now cuff Cage to the corner on the ropes as well. Copeland goes out and gets Spiky. He brings the deranged-looking weapon in the ring. Copeland hits Cage over and over with the vicious low blow kicks. He pulls out Spike, and Cage freaks out as Copeland bashes him with the show goes off the air and comes back, and Excalibur welcomes us to Rampage. Cage quits. So the winner and new TNT champion, Adam Copeland. Alright, let's go and do this little review real quick and stuff. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the next video. and all that stuff. So it's going to get to Rampage. All right, see you.